Live from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Podcasting around the world. You're listening to the GloucesterCast podcast, a production of Joey Shimataro and Good Morning Gloucester Media. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show with your host, Joey Shimataro, and his crew of merry Castaways. No piping plovers will be intentionally harmed in the production of this podcast.
Good morning, Gloucester. We are here at Castaways. Very graciously. Oh, I'm gonna shut mine down. Pat, you got it up there though? Mm-hmm. All right, I don't need this because I'm using up some of the bandwidth here. And leave. Okay. We're at Castaways, and Bianca so graciously let us use the space here. Thank you, as
absolutely.
Always. The place looks great. You're fully stocked. How was the Christmas season?
Christmas season was great. Even last weekend, everyone home for the holidays was awesome. So seeing a lot of our college girls are back working here, so getting them in is good. Seeing some good faces.
Newburyport is open.
Newburyport's open.
Cranking
away. Oh yeah.
We had a blast up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's still talking about it.
So what are some of the things that people can? Are you gonna stay open all winter? Is that the current plan?
Yep. Well, so Gloucester location will stay open until February. We'll close down for February, do all our renovations, and then open up March 1st for summer. We'll be doing 10% off for all student IDs. Wow. So college students come in with their student IDs. And then probably a week or two, we're going to be doing a really cool smoothie kind of contest. So you can kind of come in and build your own. And then it's going to be up for tasting and kind of go through a round of voting. And that will be added to our menu for summer.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Kind of going to be like probably a week or two. We'll get that up and running, and it'll be like a week long. Kind of come in, and it will narrow it down.
You mentioned renovations. You want to put
we're always moving things
right now,
around
some
here.
years went.
No, nothing too big. We always just kind of like to freshen up for the summer, give our equipment some downtime. It's been running nonstop, so we've been really putting that to the test and, just change a few things. Nothing crazy.
I'll tell you, this is our go-to spot. We love it here. We love your hospitality. Your dad is always makes us laugh. And but like if I know it's the holiday is over, but there's still, if you ever need a gift or anything like that, I know my daughters absolutely love it here. But just come in the morning and hang out. It's laughs riot down here, and the food is fantastic. You can get some nice healthy food. The acai bowls are off the charts. The avocado toast is one of my favorites. Are you gonna add? So the smoothie contest starting when?
Probably sometime in the next week and a half. We're still kind of working out the logistics of, how we're going to do voting and everything, but we'll have that posted on our social media within the next week.
Well, you got to make sure that you let me know.
Absolutely.
And we'll co-do it so that the way that people can
Yeah, so we're going to get some votes and narrow it down and kind of build your own, and then give it a name, and it'll go right on our menu.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll see you around, kiddo.
All right. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Come on in here, kiddo.
Thank you.
The Pat Cam. We're here. Pat Dalpiaz is with us. She's behind the scenes. Jimmy is running the board for us. I can't see what's happening because my computer is down right now. So Pat is fully in charge. But I'm here with these gentlemen representing. Why don't you introduce yourselves first?
Peter Lawrence, Biomimicry New England, and a project we'll talk about later, part of the Gloucester 400.
Great. Nathan Ives, Cape Ann Elms, and one of our projects is Project Elm.
And I'm Don Southard, so Cape Ann Elms, and we're here to put together a collaboration with Gloucester 400.
Nice, very nice. Gloucester 400 kicking off. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Gloucester.
You got it.
400. It's pretty wild to think, but
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the group that Bobby Gillis and Ruth Pino and the mayor and everybody that's been involved is really putting in a tremendous effort to make this a special. Gloucester's already a special place
Sure.
to begin with, and now with this extra layer of push. So let's talk. So we were talking a little bit off air. Cape Ann Elms, Gloucester Elms, Project Elms. What is it, and how are we going to define
Sure.
it?
So Cape Ann Elms is the overall organization, and we have this big project, which is Project Elm, and that's to get 1,000 elm trees back in the ground on Cape Ann in 10 years. So we're well underway. We started 2 years ago, and we did 100 trees the first year, and that was thanks to initially a grant from Awesome Rockport that we applied for a grant just to put about 5-10 trees in the ground, and they said, we really like this. We want to fund you more.
Yeah.
Could we put in 100 trees in the ground? And so Awesome Gloucester and Awesome Rockport collaborated and supported us to get 100 trees in the ground. And then the likes of us planted, others a lot of all volunteer driven.
You guys. So you weren't just writing out checks or overseeing. You guys were actually had the shovels in your hand.
That's correct. We planted. So the whole project is you sign up for a tree and we try and give them away with donated funds. Then we try and give them away for free to folks that'll agree to plant them in a street facing area so we can recreate the elm effect. Remember back when we were kids and you could see elms all over the place and they towered. So these are fast growing trees and but the volunteers do dig them in.
Wow.
And they come bare root, so they're easy to move around and stuff until you plop them in.
Can you explain to me why elms in particular?
Well, elms are such a stately tree. They're a beautiful tree, and they were so common on the eastern seaboard of the United States for centuries. And they were wiped out in the 1930s up to the 1970s by Dutch elm disease, almost to a tree. Very few trees remain.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Gloucester and Rockport and other cities around here were just loaded with elms, Elm Street, whatever, very synonymous with the landscape. And they were wiped out by this disease. So now they have disease-resistant varieties that we repopulate in these particular areas. We try and do it in street facing because years ago, the streets didn't have pavement, no macadam, and neither did the sidewalks. And so the roots had no trouble getting nourishment, water, and all that. But now it's different. And you got utilities under the ground, so you could be a little more conscious about where you put these trees. And somebody may want to put solar panels up and such. So thoughtfully, we pick an area where it's good. We work with a homeowner. And this is a private initiative where we try and get homeowners to do it because it's always a little more complicated to work with the municipalities and try and get them in the ground.
And what's the growth on an elm tree? A typical. So how big are they when you
So they're 6 to 7 foot whips, they call them. So they come without any soil around the roots initially. But they grow quick, two plus feet a year. And in 20 years, there'll be a substantial tree. And in over 30 years, they're a wicked big tree, 80 to 100 feet.
Oh my goodness.
With a 45-foot spread at the top. So
Wow.
A huge part of this is to fight climate change and to make a real difference because climate is a really important issue for all of us. And one of the practical things that we can really do is get these trees in the ground.
Well, it's official when you said wicked thing.
Wicked.
Wicked
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. You got it.
Just one question. You said some of the places, can you say some of the places that there have been planted already?
Oh, sure.
Because I know there's going to be people running around it.
Oh, yeah. 175 trees are in the ground at Cape Ann right now. If you drive along 127, they're all over the place. Come down Broadway in Rockport, go all through Annisquam, all on Lanesville, Riverdale, West Gloucester. Yep, the high school, Stage 4 Park, all over the place.
I should mention that they have a website, and the website is very comprehensive, and there's a map.
Yeah, they'll show you where they
specifically and the map is actually populated. Can you give the
website? capeannelms.org or .com, excuse me.
I know you can't see it, but I'm showing it. I've got it on here.
Thank you.
And a screenshot of the front of the webpage.
Beautiful.
Nice, Pat. Good job.
So
That's
can I just add one thing? So we don't ask for donations. We're looking for plant trees in places where people want them planted for free. Once they agree to do it, we ask for a donation. If they give it, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine.
You don't shame them afterwards?
No shame. No shame.
I shouldn't say that.
No shame is the worst.
Another shout out to the Rockport Garden Club that put some cash into it as well. We have a number of volunteers, mainly from Thatcher Island Association, who helps put them in. So every dollar that's donated goes right back into buying and planting these trees. So it's
no overhead, just get them in the ground.
Wow.
just
And
Nathan and I, and we
well,
use
the-
a shovel.
right, a ton of volunteers that do a great job, and the philanthropists that have been supportive of us have been huge because they allow us to give these trees away free. So we've had folks help us underwrite the cost of trees. We work with a nursery in the West. Who knew that elm trees are all harvested from one spot in Oregon for the whole country? And
I
so
did not know that.
you
So
gotta-
what is the suggested? Do you have a suggested donation?
about $50.
$50.
Yeah.
That's about how much a tree.
Yeah,
elm tree
$56 is a tree.
All right. Before you leave, I want to give you $50. I want one in our yard.
Awesome.
All right. All right. We're in.
But this year is really special because we're collaborating with Gloucester 400 and 400 trees that Peter represents to help, because one of the ways to celebrate this 1623 400th anniversary is to celebrate with 400 trees, plant 400 trees in Gloucester. It'd be
Amazing.
awesome. So
So 400 trees, and basically it's 400 trees. So Biomimicry New England, my organization, and what we're doing is partnership with Cape Ann Tree is we're each funding at least 100 trees to start off. So we basically have half the number of trees to start with. And a number of people are asking, hey, how can we give? And if someone's interested in giving a large amount, say over $500, if they email to 400treesgloucester@gmail.com, that's 400treesgloucester@gmail.com, we'll get back to you, tell you what you need to do, but we're a 501c3, so we can give you the tax benefits of, because you don't get any direct benefit. But the idea is two-part. It's basically, it's a legacy project for Gloucester 400, but it's in two ways. One is to identify the 400 oldest trees, and which, going back to the sequestration or the pulling out of CO2 of the air, big trees are much more effective. It's crazy, 400 to 1. So you got one big tree.
Wow.
People say, oh, I'm going to cut this big tree down. I'll plant a new one. Well, are you going to plant over 400 trees? Because in even a small, a 3-year-old tree, it's a huge difference. So it's as important to keep the old trees as it is to plant the new ones. And so the second part is planting 400 trees. Now, originally, when I had this idea, I thought, oh, we'll spread it out over a number of years. But this team, and Sal, who's not is not here, said, no, what we can do this in a year. And they have experience. They've planted over 170 trees already, and given
In
me,
one day, since January 1st, 2023. Unbelievable. These guys are animals.
But it's interesting. Everyone I mentioned this to, and it's the same with them, they're enthusiastic. Now, Ben Loomis, the superintendent of schools in Gloucester, I happened to meet him. I'd wanted to talk to him. And I mentioned the project. And before I could say anything, he said, well, but it's really important that the students plant the trees and take care of them. Well, that's perfect. It's as important that the kids are involved in the education as it is putting the trees in. So, and Generous Gardeners, I met somebody from Generous Gardeners the other night, and I thought, well, they're dealing with food. I said, well, you're not supposed to be eating these trees. Said, okay, no problem. We'd love to help. So there's already, and we haven't even officially started,
Wow.
all this interest. So
Fantastic.
it's great.
What's the lead time on getting it? So if someone makes a phone, well, pretty soon the ground's going to freeze.
right, so the trees elm trees don't even come available until April. So we order them in January. So during January, we're trying to get in orders, folks that want to have trees, figure out how many we can purchase, and get our donations in, and then we'll make the purchase. They'll come in April. So we do exercises in March to get ready, so we can get these in the ground. And then April, we dig them in. Now, 400 trees will take. One of the things that we hadn't mentioned was we do want to consider diversification, because you don't, in modern times with the climate being kind of weak and fragile, you want to be careful and have a diversification of trees. So there may be among the mix some silver maples, which are great Cape Ann Street trees, sycamores, some species of oaks. We're working with our supplier to find the best trees for Cape Ann, and but a huge number of them will be elms. But anyhow, get them in over a span of 2 or 3 weeks in April, and man.
Wow.
And his point, it's important that they're native trees, much better for supporting the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And there's also an educational component of the 400 trees. Sawyer Free Libraries agreed to be the center for the educational effort. And as you've heard, we've got interest in Gloucester Public Schools. So there's an educational, both for adults and for kids, about the value of trees, not just the beauty of the trees, but what they give us. Half the oxygen we breathe, minor detail, and sequestering CO2, among other. So something to engage kids in learning about this powerful ecosystem we have. That
and you're paying
should
it
take care of.
forward. I mean, any of these trees, they're fast growers. They grow really tall and wide, and they're gorgeous, as well as all these climate benefits that they offer. So they help to create what this part of the country looked like as little as 100 years ago or less. And then if you think about pre-colonization, 1623 and before, what this place looked like before, it was deforested for masts, ship masts, and all that other stuff. So it really reclaims the historic view of Cape Ann as we have never seen.
We have a question from one of our listeners, and I know you said it, the question is from Robert and Annette Spanks. Any particular areas that you identified to plant them in? I know you said Cape Ann.
Well,
Gloucester?
and for Gloucester, in Gloucester, and that's actually what we're looking for, is because, as was pointed out, it's not, if somebody says we'd like a tree, we need something back from them, and that's a commitment that they will help plant the tree, and also they will take care of it for a year and a half.
I thought you were planting them.
No, we'll plant.
We can plant them, but
we'll water. It's the
no,
water.
but I'm just saying,
Oh.
have them engaged. Yes,
Yeah.
we will plant them, but if we can engage, and they also have to help with the site, because what we'd like it is on, not in the back 40, but in a public place, not with telephone lines. So in a public space, so we need them to help with the site
Mm-hmm.
and also with watering,
Mm-hmm.
because the maintenance of the tree, one of the things we don't want to do is, if, for instance, it's on us, even if it's on a city property, find an abutter who says, okay, we will take care of this particular tree. So that, because the city doesn't have the infrastructure to run around watering, especially 400 trees.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is the more we can put on private property, or if it's in a park or something, is there a partnership where that group, not the city, will have the responsibility for watering it.
So I would say to them that if you want a tree and you're in Cape Ann, we're the ones to come to. So we can either dig it into Gloucester or dig it into Rockport or Essex
Manchester,
or
Essex.
Manchester. So
Yeah.
we're ready
that was
to
a good
go.
question. So
dig
that's
it
good
in.
information.
Yeah, it's
Very
a
much so.
good question.
So what's interesting to me, so I'm a value guy. All right. Like a couple of my friends got solar panels, and you know, I was a skeptical guy about like wind power and solar, but open to the dialogue. Okay, does it make finance? I'm a businessman.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not saying I don't care about the environment, but if it wouldn't make financial sense for me to put solar panels on my house, I would not have done it.
Mhm.
I wasn't doing it for the feel-good aspect of it.
Sure.
But I did put the solar panels on because Alt Solar, my guy, and it has been one of the best financial decisions I've ever
Agreed.
made.
Yeah.
So I have to say this, being a value guy, $50 for someone else to plant a tree in my yard, because I took down a bunch of shrubs that were actually providing shade on my lawn, and now my lawn is burnt up. So
Yeah.
so now I need some shade trees.
Yeah.
So tell me what you do.
Perfect.
So now I'm gonna $50. Someone else is gonna do the labor.
Yep.
I'll be able to promote it because that's what I
Yeah.
do. But I mean, value proposition. Let's talk
It's-
about that.
You just have to water it.
That's
You
a
make
bucket
sure
of water a week.
a bucket of
Yeah,
water a
yeah,
week.
so the-
You just have to
I
take
think
care of it.
We can make that work.
We don't need to overplay the care and feeding of these things. It's really a bucket of water
Yeah.
a week.
Takes
for the
2
first
minutes.
18 months.
Yep.
And that's it. Not in the winter. So
No.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
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 We can make that.
It's great
We
value.
can make that
It's
work.
great value.
Value guy.
And going back to your lawn that's burned out, the whole, there's this idea of how much cooler and more pleasant a tree makes, one of the benefits is reducing what's called the heat island effect in a city. It's can be 10 degrees cooler, out in a park than it is in a city without trees.
Right.
But it's better. It shades the tree, and it's also retaining water underground and releasing water.
Yeah,
into
and you
the
don't
air.
have to. And if my lawn is shaded, I don't have to water it as much.
Exactly.
The benefits to this are not just one or two-fold. It's like it's like 1,000-fold. It's exponential, and I'm sure this is why the great people from Awesome Gloucester and Awesome Rockport, when they saw what you guys are doing, both teamed on and are pushing forward.
Right.
They
launched
it's a
they got us
no
going.
brainer.
Yep.
Like
it's a win-win all around.
You're right.
Well, and one of the things that's very important to Gloucester 400 is legacy project. And if anything's a legacy project, identifying the oldest trees and, what can you do to protect them, and planting 400 trees, you're leaving something substantial in the city that
Great value
is
for-
definitely a legacy
A
project.
beautification value,
Absolutely.
ecological value.
Yep.
A win-win.
And an educational value.
And by the time Gloucester 500 comes around,
There you
these trees will be 80 feet
Yeah.
tall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So go over that one more time. Like how fast they come? They're going to be 6 feet tall.
Yeah, they're about 6-foot whips, and
These are the elm
then-
trees.
Oh, and then how often do they? How much
They put
grow
about
per year?
2 feet plus a year.
Wow.
Yep.
So 10
And
years.
so you want to, and they really thrive. If you give them that bucket of water a week, they
Yeah,
really
they're very
thrive.
hardy.
So if you go down and any of the places we planted them, you look at them, they put on growth right away. They're in great shape,
Wow.
and so
I planted some heritage birch at my old home. Those things grew.
beautiful.
Yeah, they
Unbelievable.
Lovely tree. Yeah.
They grew. Like I was there for 8 years. and
That's a
they
fast
grew
grower
like-
too.
Yeah,
Holy
that
cow.
is a
Holy
nice
Yeah.
tree.
We're a dog town. Would you say the dogs like these?
I think they would love them.
Well, that's the
they use
selling
it.
point.
They use a tree for a variety of purposes, and so they would. The more trees, the better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys would like to add?
I would like to thank you for hosting this.
Only me. Don't thank Pat and Jimmy because
No,
they really
I
had
was-
nothing. They had nothing to do with
No,
it.
no,
collective
I
view.
was getting to that,
I'm teasing.
because without them, we'd just be sitting here talking. So
No,
I,
they're
know,
great.
and so I.
So right now-
and Bianca as well.
And-
The
and I think
graphic
our host-
for the website.
Yep.
And the
URL.
And the
web
email,
address is in the note, is in the
and the
comments.
email address of,
And the email address is in the comments as
Great.
well.
super.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for coming.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you for
great.
having us. We really
Fantastic.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We'll send you pictures. We dig them in, or come join us.
Yeah,
you don't have to do the work,
volunteers.
just to
Yeah,
say.
no, I'm definitely not doing the work.
Yeah.
We'll
And-
videotape it.
And we'll follow up about trees in your yard.
Yeah.
No, it'll be see, we do 40 to 80,000 people a day on the blog.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So it'll be great to keep up with that, and it'll keep me honest about the whole
Yeah,
watering
that's true.
thing. 'Cause I'll,
Yeah.
I'll give you free reign to totally shame me if,
You-
I, if I fail.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Pat. Do you know how to shut it down, Pat? Or do you want
I
me to?
don't.
All right, I'm gonna come over here.
Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that was good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're gonna go. Yep. No, but I want to do our graphic.
Oh,
here
okay.
with, audio.
Right.
Here.
Little town with big news. 411 come get the scoop. Wake up with Joe and the rest of his crew. It's good morning, Gloucester, to you. Oh, it's good morning, Gloucester, to you. I say